What if I told you there's a place in the US where the sun disappears for 64 days, another where 4 state borders meet at a single point, and a state that's secretly sinking into the sea as we speak? Welcome to Maplocked. In this video, we'll explore the 25 insane geography facts about the US that you probably didn't learn in school. Let's dive in. Fact 25. New York is south of Rome. Think New York is freezing in winter? Here's a surprise: New York City is actually south of Rome, Italy. That's right. Pull out a globe and compare the lines of latitude. New York sits just above 40 degrees north, while Rome is closer to 41.9 degrees north. But why does Rome feel warmer year-round? It's because of the Gulf Stream, a powerful Atlantic Ocean current that carries warm water from the tropics toward Europe. As a result, cities in Europe at the same latitude as US cities are often significantly warmer. While Rome enjoys a mild January high of 55 degrees Fahrenheit, New York shivers at around 39 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if you ever wondered why your Roman vacation in winter felt like spring while you're bundling up in Manhattan, now you know. Fact 24. Louisiana is disappearing into the Gulf. Every 100 minutes, Louisiana loses land the size of a football field to the Gulf of Mexico. Due to a mix of coastal erosion, rising sea levels, and human disruption of natural sediment flow, the state is vanishing before our eyes. It's not just theoretical either. Satellite maps from the last few decades show massive changes along the coast. Some communities are now completely underwater or have relocated. And if trends continue, southern Louisiana, including parts of New Orleans, could be underwater by the end of this century. Fact 23. Oklahoma has the most tornadoes per square mile. Known as the heart of Tornado Alley, Oklahoma averages around 50 tornadoes every year. But here's the twist. When adjusted for land area, it has more tornadoes per square mile than any other state. Why? Oklahoma sits right at the crossroads of colliding air masses. Cold, dry air from the Rocky Mountains in Canada, warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and dry air from the desert Southwest. This atmospheric battleground creates the perfect storm for twisters to form, especially in spring. Some towns even have underground tornado shelters as a common feature in homes. Fact 22. The Outer Banks are migrating west. The Outer Banks of North Carolina, a chain of barrier islands, are literally moving. That's right. These islands are made of loose sand, and with each storm or hurricane, powerful waves erode their eastern shores and deposit sand on the western side. This means the islands are gradually migrating westward, inch by inch. It's a slow process, but over decades, it's noticeable. Scientists have documented entire lighthouses and homes being relocated inland to avoid collapse. Fact 21. Hawaii's Big Island is getting bigger. Unlike Louisiana, the Big Island of Hawaii is growing. Thanks to constant volcanic activity from Mauna Loa and Kilauea, new lava flows are adding land to the island. Since 1983, over 500 acres of land have been added to the island's southeast coast. These lava flows reach the ocean, cool rapidly, and solidify, expanding Hawaii's footprint. Some newly formed land even becomes habitable over time. But it's not without risk. Entire neighborhoods have also been destroyed by eruptions. It's a reminder that Hawaii is both creating and reclaiming land in a dramatic dance of fire and sea. Fact 20. Arizona contains all 4 major U.S. deserts. The U.S. has 4 major deserts: the Great Basin, the Mojave, the Sonoran, and the Chihuahuan. Only one state contains portions of all 4, Arizona. Each desert has its own distinct plant life, elevation, and rainfall pattern, which makes Arizona one of the most ecologically diverse arid regions on Earth. Fact 19. You can hunt for real diamonds in Arkansas. Imagine casually walking through a field and stumbling across a real diamond. In Murfreesboro, Arkansas, that's not a fantasy. It's a daily possibility. Welcome to Crater of Diamonds State Park, the only public diamond-bearing site in the world where you keep what you find. The site sits on an ancient volcanic pipe, a geologic jackpot that has produced more than 35,000 diamonds since it opened to the public. One of the most famous discoveries? A massive 40.23 carat diamond called Uncle Sam, still the largest ever found in the US. Whether you're a prospector or just lucky, this patch of Arkansas offers a one-of-a-kind chance to strike it rich. Fact 18. Kansas is literally flatter than a pancake. Jokes about Kansas being flat are so common they've become cliches. But guess what? Science backs it up. In 2003, a group of scientists from Texas State University decided to compare the surface of Kansas with an actual pancake. They used mathematical curvature analysis and discovered, yes, Kansas is flatter. Fact 17. 11 states in America have just one area code. In our age of smartphones and 10-digit dialing, some states are keeping things simple. 11 states in the US are so sparsely populated, they still use just one area code for the entire state. Think about it. One code handles every call in Alaska, 907, Vermont, 802, Wyoming, 307, and Hawaii, 808, to name a few. Meanwhile, California has over 30. These states may be quiet, but their phone systems are a minimalist's dream. Fact 16. One of the best preserved meteor craters on Earth is in Arizona. About 50,000 years ago, a rock the size of a building came screaming out of the sky and hit Earth at 26,000 miles per hour. The result? Meteor crater in Arizona, also called Barringer crater, a bowl 570 feet deep and nearly a mile across. It's one of the most pristine and scientifically valuable impact sites in the world. Scientists study it to understand space collisions, and tourists visit to marvel at how a rock created such destruction. Fact 15. Utah has the longest natural bridge in America. Forget man-made marvels like the Golden Gate. Utah is home to one of nature's best architects. Inside Arches National Park, the landscape arch stretches nearly 300 feet across, longer than a football field. It looks delicate, almost like a stone ribbon frozen mid-air. In 1991, a chunk actually collapsed, thinning the structure even further. Yet the arch still holds, defying gravity and time. Fact 14. Maine borders only one U.S. state. Out of 50 states, only one is a true loner, Maine. It shares its U.S. border with just New Hampshire, and the rest is all Canada or the vast Atlantic. This makes Maine the perfect road trip endpoint. It's geographically isolated, culturally unique, and filled with rugged coastal charm. Fact 13. A floating post office exists in Michigan. How do you deliver mail to ships that never dock? In Detroit, Michigan, the answer is a floating post office, the J.W. Westcott II. This boat sails the Detroit River, delivering mail by rope and bucket to moving cargo ships. It's the only U.S. post office with its own floating zip code, 48222. Rain, shine, or sea spray, mail finds its way. Fact 12. Wisconsin has an official state microbe. Most states pick flowers or birds. Wisconsin, it picked a microbe. Meet Lactococcus lactis, the little organism behind cheese. It turns milk into cheddar, Gouda, mozzarella, you name it. Wisconsin produces up to 3.5 billion pounds of cheese a year, making this microbe a tiny but mighty economic engine. Fact 11. One town in Alaska lives in darkness for 64 days. Imagine a town where the sun vanishes in November and doesn't come back until late January. That's the life in Utqiagvik, Alaska, formerly known as Barrow. For 64 straight days, the town is wrapped in polar night. But come summer, they get 2 months of 24-hour daylight. Locals adapt, and the rhythm of life follows the sky. Fact 10. No one can agree on which U.S. state is the most mountainous. You'd think this would be an easy answer, right? Just check the map and find the state with the most mountains. But when it comes to the most mountainous state in America, 4 states all step up and say, it's us. Alaska argues it's the clear winner. After all, it has the tallest mountains, over 4,000 named peaks, including Denali, the highest point in North America at 20,310 feet. But Alaska is huge, and a lot of that space is flat tundra. Colorado fires back with elevation stats. It has the highest average elevation of any state, 6,800 feet above sea level. It's home to more than 50 peaks over 14,000 feet, called 14ers. West Virginia joins the fight, claiming to be the only state entirely within a mountain range, the Appalachian Mountains. But most of those peaks are lower, and many lie on a plateau. And then there's the underdog, Nevada. It quietly has over 2,000 named mountains, making it the most densely covered mountain state. From almost anywhere in Nevada, you can see a mountain, every direction. So who wins? It depends on what mountainous means to you: size, height, elevation, or density. Fact 9. South Carolina has a monkey-only island. Just off the coast of South Carolina, there's an island where over 4,000 rhesus monkeys live wild, and humans aren't allowed. It's called Morgan Island, but most people just call it Monkey Island. In 1979, the US government relocated around 1,400 monkeys from Puerto Rico to the island for research. But they didn't stay 1,400 for long. The population exploded to thousands. Now it's a free-roaming primate paradise. You can't visit the island unless you're an approved researcher. No beaches, no resorts, no human tourism. Just monkeys doing monkey things. Why so strict? Scientists want to protect both the monkeys and the delicate coastal environment. Fact 8. Kentucky has a rare natural phenomenon called a moonbow. You've heard of rainbows, but what about a moonbow? At Cumberland Falls in Kentucky, on clear nights with a bright full moon, the mist from the waterfall bends moonlight, creating a glowing arc across the night sky. It looks like a pale, ghostly rainbow, often white, sometimes faintly colored. And it's one of the only places in the world where you can reliably see one. Fact 7. Mount Washington recorded Earth's fastest wind. In New Hampshire, Mount Washington isn't the tallest mountain in the US, but it's arguably the most dangerous. In 1934, weather observers recorded a wind speed of 231 miles per hour, the fastest wind speed ever recorded on Earth at the time. That's faster than most fighter jets fly when landing. That's faster than a Category 5 hurricane. The weather on Mount Washington is brutal. Sudden snow, icy gusts, and whiteouts. Hikers often underestimate it, and search and rescue missions are frequent. If the wind hits you there at 231 miles per hour, you don't just stumble, you get launched off the mountain. Fact 6. Chicago reversed the flow of its entire river. Imagine your city's river is flowing the wrong way, carrying raw sewage straight into your drinking water source. That was the problem Chicago faced in the late 1800s. The Chicago River flowed into Lake Michigan, which also supplied the city's water. So the engineers did something unthinkable. They reversed the river. Over 8 years, workers dug a 28-mile canal, blasted through limestone, and forced the river to flow away from the lake, into the Mississippi River Basin instead. The project was so successful, it's now considered a civil engineering landmark. And yes, it worked. Chicago stopped poisoning its own water. Fact 5. Beaufort, Wyoming had a population of just one. Most towns boast their size, culture, or nightlife. Beaufort, Wyoming proudly claimed, population 1. That one man? Don Salmons, who ran the Beaufort Trading Post, served as the mayor, gas station attendant, and postmaster, all rolled into one. Beaufort sat at 8,000 feet elevation, making it the highest town along I-80. But by 2012, Salmons had enough. He auctioned off the town, including its ZIP code and buildings. Today, Beaufort still exists, but it's a ghost town with a strange history. A town that was once just one man. Fact 4. Kansas City has a hidden underground business world beneath Kansas City, Missouri. There's a secret city carved into limestone. It's called Subtropolis, a 6 million square foot underground complex, one of the largest of its kind in the world. Subtropolis houses warehouses, storage facilities, even data centers and archives. Companies like Ford, Hallmark, and the US Postal Service use it. Fact 3. Utah's Bonneville Salt Flats are so flat you can see the Earth curve. In western Utah, there's a blinding white plain that stretches endlessly, the Bonneville Salt Flats. They're so flat, so smooth, that on clear days, you can see the curvature of the Earth with your own eyes. Formed from a prehistoric lake, the flats are hard as pavement, ideal for setting land speed records. In fact, it's the site of the fastest car speeds ever clocked. Looking out over the white horizon, with no trees, no hills, no sound, it feels alien. And on some days, it looks like you're standing at the edge of the planet. Fact 2. One Hawaiian island is completely off limits. One Hawaiian island doesn't allow tourists, hotels, or highways. That island is Niihau, known as the Forbidden Island. Privately owned by the Robinson family since 1864, Niihau is home to about 130 native Hawaiians, and outsiders are rarely allowed. The island preserves traditional Hawaiian culture, language, and subsistence living. The island is protected to shield its people and wildlife from the outside world. Fact 1. The town of Rough and Ready once left the U.S. for 3 months. In 1850, the California gold rush town of Rough and Ready had had enough. Angry about mining taxes and federal liquor bans, the locals held a vote and declared independence from the United States. They called it the Great Republic of Rough and Ready, elected their own president, and set up their own rules. But on July 4th, America's Independence Day, the citizens had a change of heart. Feeling patriotic, they voted to rejoin the U.S. after just 3 months of independence. That's just 25 facts, and we're only halfway there. In Part 2, we'll reveal America's strangest borders, floating islands, and underground cities you didn't know existed. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and keep your maps locked.